Fine. So yesterday we have done about the factors influencing development. Under that heading, what we have discussed about, there were two terms, the phenotype and genotype. I hope it is understood to all of you. While explaining both these terms, always give a very small example. A very small example in just one sentence, it's enough, but try to give example whenever you explain such terms, right? Then we have particularly discussed about how environment influences or affects human development. Under that, two examples were given. Yes, so both the way the genotype is also affecting our behavior, our development, and the phenotype is also about that short height. Yes, you all remember about the introvert and extrovert. So this is how you're going to explain that thing. Now, after that, we're going to explain about the research or the study done by Sandra Scar, right? A famous psychologist. So what that psychologist has particularly told, that there are certain genetic predispositions. If parents are intelligent, so they themselves will provide the same things to their children. If they have high IQ, so they will provide all the reading material, all kinds of good books, which are very informative to their children. If they are very good in music, so the musical environment will be there in their house. Yes, all kind of instruments will be there. They themselves practice the things, they themselves hear the song. So in a way, the children also observe and imitate them, right? And the second thing, do not forget that children also with certain genetic predispositions in the same way will, accept or will go for the same environment. If a certain child has a genetic predisposition, that is, he has carried some genes which makes him more interested in sports. Let's take badminton, right? So if a child is very good in badminton, he himself find the things which are favoring that hobby, that passion. He will practice himself, he will give more concentration to that game, he will listen or he will see videos about that game, how to play. He may ask his parents that please make me join certain classes in the evening apart from the studies. So these are the two things you have to explain. Just read one by one all the things, keep on underlining, and this is the way we're going to memorize also and understand also the things, right? It's very good if you are making proper notes, so there is no comparison of that. But still, if someone is not, in a habit of making notes, I would always suggest you people to keep on underlining the main things, the things which I tell you, while explaining, because whenever you give a rereading to it, it will be very easier and convincing for you to understand the concept. So keep on underlining, keep on writing short words or notes in the book itself with pencil. Never use pen in your books. Fine. Okay, so till here everything is clear. Now let's move on to what are the things responsible for introducing certain kind of development. So mainly a famous psychologist was there, Yuri Bronfenbrenner. You can underline the name, it's given on page number 68. Yuri Bronfenbrenner, he was a psychologist. He has developed a contextual view of development. Now, into that contextual view, what he emphasized? He emphasized the role of environmental factors in the development of an individual. Now, can you make out that why he is emphasizing the environmental factors? Because these factors play a very important role, even sometimes greater than the genetic predispositions, right? So he has emphasized that certain environmental factors are very important in the process of a human development. Now let's see how does it proceed. He has given 5 processes, you can say, or 5 systems. First is microsystem, second one is mesosystem, third one is exosystem, fourth is macrosystem, and last one is chronosystem. You all can see in black bold letters, page number 68. So this is all about his contextual view. in which 5 systems are there. Now let's find out what is there in each system. The first one is microsystem or setting in which the individual lives. It is in these settings where the child directly interacts with social agents. See, whenever we talk about the first system, that is micro, as name is suggesting, micro means something very specific, very small, right? So this is all about the immediate environment. Immediate environment means something very specific, very small, right? So this is all about the immediate environment. And you can explain it. Fine. So in this, what is happening? The immediate environment, or we are directly interacting with various social agents. We have discussed about the agents in chapter number 3, about parents, about family, peer group, media influences, right? Fine. So second system now what? Mesosystem. It consists of relations between these contexts. Now we have talked about various social agents in microsystem. Fine. Now what is happening in mesosystem? Mesosystem consists of relationships between, just take an example, between your parents and you. Fine, this is a kind of relationship. There is also a relationship between your parents and teachers. Fine, relationship between you and your teacher. So there are different kind of relationships you are maintaining with different kind of social agents between you and your friends, between even your parents and your peer group. There is also a relation between your best friends which comes to your mind, between your teachers, between your parents, between your classmates, between your classmates and your classmates. Fine. Exosystem. What is exosystem? It includes events in social settings when the child does not participate directly. Now again, underline this word, how you're going to differentiate between micro and exo. Micro में क्या हो रहा था? There is a immediate and direct contact. Fine. Now, but what is happening in exosystem? There are certain events in social setting. Events matlab different kind of experiences you are having in your life, different kind of challenges you are facing. Sorry. So different kinds of challenges and experiences you are facing in social settings means in your environment. But what is the main thing in this? That child is not participating directly, but they influence the child's experiences in the immediate context. Now these kind of events which are happening, these always obviously affects our behavior, affects our development, right? Whenever we are facing some kind of experience, suppose there is a transfer of your parent from one place to another. It is not a direct interaction and it is not because of you, but still that transfer from one place to some other place totally affecting your development. It's totally affects your life pattern all of a sudden, is it? Yes. So what is happening in exosystem? It including all the events in the social settings where the child is not participating directly, but still these all events are influencing the child's development or experiences in the immediate context. The example I've given about the transfer, same example is there. Fine. Now let's move upon the fourth system, that is macro system. We read about micro, now it is macro. It simply includes the culture in which the individual lives. Now we do not have to explain this in detail as we have done full chapter upon culture. So macro system में क्या हो रहा है? All the kind of culture you are dealing with, in which you are living, all the things, the same things about the language, the lifestyle, the customs, the practices, the language, everything, the food habits, right? The religious practices, everything comes in culture which you are facing or in which you are living. It consists of what? Macro system. Now the last one is chrono system. See, this is little bit confusing. Why? Because it is little bit similar to exosystem. How come? Chrono system involves events in the individual's life course. First important thing, all the events in the individual lifespan. Throughout जो एक person की life में जो भी events हुए हैं, वो किसमें होते हैं? Chrono system में. What else? And socio-historical circumstances of the time. As Khushi has asked me about the historical context, right? Same thing will come in chrono system. How does historical context is affecting our development? So what all things are there? Full events, all the events throughout your lifespan. And second important thing, the socio-historical circumstances of the time, right? Now, what could be the example? Suppose divorce of parents or parents' economic setback and their effect on the child. Same thing is there, that there are certain major changes in the life of a child in which he is not directly responsible and he is not directly involved. But still these are certain major changes which really affect the development of a child, physical also sometimes and psychological also. Psychologically, so obviously there will be, and sometimes physical development also hinders. It also get obstructed. So there is various example you can give about the divorce of parents or economic setback. So these all events are really affecting a child's development. Fine. So it is all about the Yuri Bronfenbrenner contextual view. Remember the name of the psychologist? Remember the name of the system, name of the model. What is contextual view of development? Fine. Now in this paragraph, after this, I'm just going to read it out for you because this is quite important. In a nutshell, Bronfenbrenner view is that a child's development is significantly affected by the complex world that envelops her, whether it be the minute of the conversation she or he has with his or her playmates, or the social and economic life circumstances into which she is born. So what he is saying, this development view, what the psychologist wants to tell, that every minute things, right? Every daily experience is also affecting us, and the major the socio-historical changes and context is equally affecting us. So both the things are equally affecting our development. Research has shown that children in impoverished environment, impoverished means in which things are not given properly. A deficiency is there, right? Proper facilities are not there, whether it is related to education, whether it is related to nutrition, nutrient food, right? So impoverished environment have unstimulating environment, devoid of books, magazines, toys, etc. So if a child is not getting all these things, a small child, a kid is not getting proper toys to play, an adolescent child is not getting proper books to read, proper sources of information, so they are lacking experiences such as they are not able to visit library, they are not able to visit any museum, they are not able to visit any zoo. So all these things are really hindering the child's development. Fine. Sometimes parents are also ineffective as role models. Parents themselves are not able to portray them as a good role model. They are themselves doing the bad things. They are themselves showing the wrong behavior. So in the same way, children are observing and imitating, and they also follow the same things, right? So all these things are somewhere affecting human development. We have to name some of them, and whenever we name or whenever we give such general example, you have to keep 2 to 3 example in your mind. Otherwise, what will happen, whenever you write the paper, you all of a sudden forget the things, because everything becomes everything mixed up. You'll keep on giving the same example again and again in every answer. So try to be specific. Just learn 2 to 3 examples specific. As in this case, you can give parents are ineffective, in portraying a good role model, and you can also give the children who are living in overcrowded and noisy surroundings. See, this is also a very important factor when the house is overcrowded, right, and noisy surroundings, whether the neighborhood is very noisy or whether in the house itself there is lot of interference, there is lot of noise, there is lot of interruption. You are not getting a proper place to study, you are not getting a proper place to spend your time in privacy. So all these things really affect human development. Fine, so give some of them example to be specific in your answer. So this is all about the contextual view of development given by Yuri Bronfenbrenner, right? Now, in the same topic, whenever we talk about the context of development, the Indian psychologist named Durganand Sinha, he was a very renowned psychologist. Durganand Sinha, Indian psychologist, he has also presented an ecological model for understanding the development of children in Indian context. See, most of the time you'll only get to know about the foreign psychologists, the researchers done in foreign culture or in foreign context. Very rarely we're going to hear about the name of Indian psychologist. So one of them, Durganand Sinha, in 1977, has presented an ecological model when environment is there, right? How he make us understand the things by his model. Let us see. Ecology of the child could be viewed in terms of 2 concentric layers. Now he has explained, as Yuri Bronfenbrenner has given 5 kind of systems to explain the environment. In the same manner, Sinha is explaining the things by telling that there are 2 concentric layers. Now what are those layers? The upper and the more visible layers. 2 layers are there in his model. First one is what? The upper and the more visible layers, जो ऊपर है और easily we can see them. What all things come under this layer? It consists of home, school, peer groups, and so on. So you can find out the immediate, you can say, as we have studied about microsystem in Yuri Bronfenbrenner model, right? So this is the immediate environment, or you are in a direct control. All these social agents are in a very direct control with us, whether it's related to home, school, peer groups, and so on. Fine. The most important ecological factors influencing development of the child in the visible upper layer constitute the home. First of all, who is on the priorities on the first place? Your house, your home. Its conditions in terms of overcrowding, space available to each member, toys, technological devices used, etc. That means the environment you're getting in your house, whether it is related to the facilities, the opportunities which have been provided by your parents, and the environment of the house. Second one is what? The nature and quality of schooling. The most important after home is nature and quality of schooling, facilities to which the child is exposed. Now, school plays a very important role in a child's life. The kind of education he is getting, the kind of presentation of information he is getting, the kind of practical demonstration and extracurricular activities, other aspects of his or her personality is developing where? In the school. The third one is what? Nature of interactions and activities undertaken with peer group from childhood onwards. Now on the third step, on the third number which comes, what important social agent? Peer group. That is why we always emphasize to be very much cautious and careful about the selection of your friends, about your peer, about your company, right? Peer group influences you people a lot, to a great extent. Even the parents and teachers also cannot match up with them, especially during adolescence and teenage. So your peer group is influencing you a lot, and it is influencing your development also, psychological development. Fine. Now let's talk about the second one. The second layer is known as surrounding layers. You can write it somewhere, or if you can see the things in the book, you can underline. The first layer is what? Upper and the most visible layers. And second layer is known as the surrounding layers. Now, what all comes in surrounding layers? Let's see. It constitutes first the general geographical environment. Geographical environment, the geography. You understand with the geography, what does it mean? What kind of things you are getting, right? About the weather, the climate conditions also comes under geographical environment. It also includes the space and facilities, fine, inside your house and outside the home. So the locality in which you are living, the density of population into that locality and inside your house. So all these things comes under what? The general geographical environment, and it is a part of which layer? The second layer, that is surrounding layers, right? What is the second thing which constitutes surrounding layer? Institutional setting provided by caste, class, and other factors. Now, institutional settings का क्या मतलब है? We are living in a society. We are following a certain culture, and we also talked about that in a culture there are certain categories, there are certain castes, there are certain religion. So all these things are provided us by institutional settings. जिसमें we have a particular caste, we are following a particular religion, we are following other categories. Various categories are there. We are belonging to a particular social group, right? So all these things come under what? Institutional settings. The third one is general amenities available to the child, like drinking water, electricity, means of entertainment, and so on. So can you realize, have you ever noticed, or have you ever tried to pay attention to these things, that these are very basic amenities, these are very basic facilities to provided to us, as we are living in urban areas, as we are self-sufficient, our parents are self-sufficient, so we never came to realize that these things are very important, because we are getting in ample. We don't have any kind of deficiency, whether it is related to clean drinking water. We all have aqua guards and RO at our house, right? Proper water supply is there, proper electricity supply is there. So we never came to realize the importance. Just think about, you all have observed, you all have read about many rural areas in which there is quite a good shortage of water. Clean drinking water is not available. Just forget about the other things. So can you just make out how that basic amenity is affecting a child who is living into that particular context? He is struggling with a basic need. Maybe he has to get up early in the morning, he has to fetch water from the well, he has to accompany his mother or father to get water. So he is spending quite a lot time in just getting that basic amenity. And what we are getting, we just don't know. We will just sometimes keep the tap also open, right, while doing the brush. So you are getting the thing. What I'm trying to say, that we are not able to understand the importance, but these things are really affecting the people who are not getting these things. So the third one is general amenities available. Means of entertainment, you all understand the kind of entertainment you are getting from social media, whether it is your smartphone, whether you are going to watch a movie, whether you are going to enjoy a good meal in restaurants with your friends. A lot of sources of entertainment are there. Fine. So it is all related to the surrounding layers. Let us just quickly summarize this model presented by Sinha. The visible and the surrounding layer factors interact with one another and may have different consequences for development in different people. The ecological environment can change or alter during any time of the individual's lifespan. Therefore, to understand differences in the functioning of an individual, it is important to see the individual in the context of her or his experiences. Right? So, what they are trying to say that both these layers work in collaboration with each other. One is affecting the other layer, right? Your home environment, that is the upper and the visible layer, is affecting the surrounding layer, and vice versa. So both are important and both are interacting with each other, and they are influencing and affecting human development. The ecological environment can change. It means that during your lifespan, or during an individual's throughout life, these conditions could change, could be altered, right, with time. Maybe you're not getting the things in your childhood, but when you become adult, when you become self-dependent, then maybe you get a very good job and you start getting all those things which you haven't, in your, which you didn't get in your childhood. So the things keep on changing, these layers keep on changing. Some people are there who are getting everything during their childhood years because their parents are providing, but when they acquire jobs by themselves, they are not that much self-sufficient to get all the things. So these changes, these things keep on changing throughout your life. So in the last, they are saying to understand differences in the functioning of an individual. So you can understand that there are differences in everybody's functioning. Some are functioning very good, their functioning is very proper, and some people are malfunctioning, right? So what are the reasons? These are the reasons: the environment, the context, the two kinds of layers. All these things are playing a very important role in determining the human development. Fine, children? Yes, ma'am. We can stop with the recording.